In this video, we will dive into how you can shape the sound of the compressor. What's special about this Dragon is the ability to finely tune the sound of the compressor itself. For example, you can seamlessly blend between a classic vintage sound and a transparent modern sound. To give you an example, let's listen to how we change the characteristic of a snare and then dive into detail. First, let's take a look at the curve slider. The curve slider allows for seamless interpolation between a slow opto-style release curve and a fast VCA style release curve. Changing the slider affects how the release curve behaves, changing the overall responsiveness of the compressor. To understand, let's take a listen. On a fast setting, the compressor acts similar to the classic DBX compressor. When we change to a slow setting, notice how the kick and the snare get a rounder sound when turning the curve slider. This setting is more like an LA to A compressor. Again, the great thing is that you can easily blend between the two settings to find the sound you like. Next, we'll take a look at the RMS slider. The RMS slider allows you to blend between peak compression for extra punch, similar to an SSL bus compressor, and RMS compression, like the Vari-Mus tube compressors for extra transparency and gradual compression. Listen to how the snare changes when we turn up the RMS slider. Now with the RMS slider up, the snare is more transparent and has more body. This flexibility combined with the flexibility of the curve slider allows for endless compressor style combinations. Now let's move on to the knee slider. The knee slider lets us choose smoothly between a hard knee for fast reactions on very dynamic material like the DBX compressor and a soft knee for progressive compression similar to the famous Manley compressors. The Dragon Fire is suited for all types of material you can throw at it and allows you to create your own unique type of compressor. As we turn up the knee slider, the transients become less snappy and the sound becomes more soft. Now, let's talk about the drive slider. We can add character to the sound by adding adaptive saturation with the drive slider. This behaves similar to an old tube compressor circuit in the sense that the more you drive a signal into the compressor, the more it gets saturated. With the Dragon Fire, we can also control which frequencies we want to drive into the compressor, and with that, the saturation by manipulating the graph. Listen to how the frequencies we are pushing into the compressor get more saturated. And last but not least, the clipper function. This allows us to add another layer of grit by constraining the output below a hard cut level. If we drive the signal into the clipper with the gain slider, we can add some nice dirt to this sound. Notice how we can really squash the sound. This is great for compressing your overheads or a super dirty snare. We can also use the gain slider post clipper as a makeup gain. As you just heard, the Dragon Fire gives you a lot of fine-grained control over the shape of your own compressor sound in a creative way. Enjoy.